Township Board of Trustees regular meeting on January 8th, 2019. Typo on the agenda. To order at 6 p.m. Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Blonshine.
Here.
Please.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Zeitz.
Here.
Wolfgang here. Kuchera.
Here.
And Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Brief public input. Hearing, seeing none. Approval of the agenda.
I have a couple things.
Okay.
First of all, the correction on the date. I would like to pull item H off the agenda, and under consent calendar, I would like to list check registers, December 11th, 2018 minutes, water report, assessing report, and emergency services report.
Any other changes to the agenda? No? I would like to add under
Can just replace item H with that.
4437 Hickory Drive, across West Ironwood Drive. 19-year-old male having some diabetic issues. He's vomiting now, abnormal behavior. He is not combative, but needs transport to Munson.
I don't want to do that until we have support. So we're removing item H.
Right?
Yes, let's just, we'll remove H out, add a J.
But then we're, okay.
What if we don't get support to do that?
We do it at the same time.
Yeah, well, can we do that?
Can we do what?
We have H already identified, so
Okay.
we need to make a new numerical.
Okay.
Okay. So add an item J, which would be Chief Parker, with a discussion regarding his retirement pension.
He's not old enough.
Due to miscommunication upon hiring. Any other changes or additions?
I would make a motion to approve the agenda with changes.
Support. It's been moved and supported to approve the agenda with changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Declaration of conflict of interest. Anybody have a conflict with anything that's on the agenda tonight? Presentation and special report. We have our new county commissioner here tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brad Jewett, District 3 County Commissioner. I represent Precinct 3 in Blair Township and also Precincts 1, 2, 5, and 6 in Garfield Township. I don't have a whole lot for you tonight since we had our organizational meeting last Wednesday. In that organizational meeting, though, we did decide to change our meeting times to 8 a.m. instead of 5:30 in the evenings. That includes study sessions, so they're still on the same days. The first and third Wednesday of the month is our general meeting. The second and fourth Wednesday will be our study sessions. We did get our committee assignments. I'll go through them real quick, but I do have copies of them over here on the table along with my business cards, so if anybody wants to grab any of them afterwards, feel free to. When I'm done here, I'm going to slide on down to Garfield Township's meeting though. But anyway, for the committee's Airport Commission is Commissioner Henschel. Beta Board is myself. Board of Public Works is Commissioner Wheelock. Brownfield and Building Code is Commissioner Klaus. Commission on Aging is Commissioner Hunley. Community Corrections is Commissioner Wheelock. Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee is Henschel. Department of Health and Human Services Pavilions is Cordy LaPointe. Economic Development Corporation is Commissioner Wheelock. Emergency Management is Commissioner Henschel. Farmland Preservation is Commissioner Coffia. Or actually, it's Kofia. She let us know it is Kofia, so anybody that wants to know. Grid Trevor's Central Dispatch is myself. Land Bank is Commissioner Klaus. Local Planning Team is myself. Networks Northwest and Northern Nexus is Commissioner Hunley. Northern Lakes Community Mental Health is Commissioner Kofia. The Substance Abuse Disorder Policy Oversight Board is actually none of us, but it is Chuck Welch. Parks and Recreation Commission is Commissioner Henschel. Traverse Transportation Coordinating Initiative is myself. Veterans Affair is Commissioner LaPointe, and Agency on Aging is Commissioner Coffia. I just want to add, you can get our information, our contact information off the grandtraverse.org website also. So feel free to email us, give us a call, whatever. We do ask that you give us 24 hours to respond, just because sometimes the days are kind of hectic for each and every one of us. So if we don't call you back right away or email back right away, just out of respect, give us 24 hours. Any questions or comments?
Brad, how do you think the changing the meeting dates and times to 8 a.m. versus a 5:30 p.m. on a Wednesday is going to go over with the general population of working people?
You know, I think overall, it's going to be good once we get going with it. Is what most people don't realize, and it's been proven throughout the country, and Traverse City, Grand Traverse County is not excluded from that, but 50 to 52% of the population actually work in afternoon or midnight combined, and so they can't make the evening meetings, I guess it'd be. You know, so like we mentioned, we're going to run with it for a while, and if we got to make changes, we'll make changes. If we have a hot topic issue or something that needs to have more public input, we will schedule a meeting for the evening time. So just like anything else, with some change, some people aren't going to like it and some are, you know, so no matter when we choose to have our times, we're excluding a part of the population, you know, so we'll run with it for a little bit and see what happens. If we have to tweak it in, we'll have to tweak it in.
And how did you decide which county representative represents?
Our chairman appoints these boards, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Rod Henschel was nominated as our chairman, and Commissioner Klaus was our vice chair. And so the chairman is the one that appoints these boards, so. If anybody wants to talk to each other amongst us commissioners and switch something, that will probably be allowed, but we do need to get it approved by the whole board to do that, I guess.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Welcome.
Okay. Well, I plan on being here every month unless something comes up, but I will contact Nikki during the week and let her know if I'm going to be here or not be here. I'll let her know either way so she knows ahead of time. So Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Cut out on you, but I'm going to Garfield, so. Have a good night.
You too.
Hi, Matt Trustee, Grand River Sheriff's Office. The Blair Township Community Police Report for December 2018. Township statistics: arrests 27, citations 47, complaints 489, traffic crashes 27. My statistics, arrests 3, citations 8, complaints 45, warrants attained 3. First topic, I wanted to thank Rick and Rico's. Maybe a couple months ago, I met an elderly gentleman. He called because he thought somebody was trying to scam him through the mail. It was really just debt collectors in Traverse City. He had some unpaid Munson bills, which he was unable to pay. So I made a bunch of phone calls for him and figured out what the bills were, called Munson. They said, we just have to send the collection out. He doesn't have to pay any of the bills. So we got the bills taken care of. I figured all that out for him. So we kind of became buddies, and we got to talking, and then he mentioned how limited his Social Security was and didn't have any money. So, and then when he wasn't looking, I peeked in his fridge and noticed it was lacking. So at Thanksgiving, I asked Rick I went over to Rick, asked him to make him a Thanksgiving meal, and he put together this really nice Thanksgiving meal that would last for a couple of days. So that was really nice. And then Rick approached me at Christmas and said, hey, can we do more meals? So I obviously made one for my buddy, or had Rick do that. And then there's a couple that has 2 teenage children. They're having tons of medical issues with the wife and the mom, just backed up on bills, and we're gonna have a very good Christmas. We got them a bunch of gifts, our union did. And then Rick also made them like a huge ham dinner with all the sides and stuff. So that was really great, and he was happy to do it. So, and the family we took it to, they didn't know it was even coming, so they were really excited and happy. So that was a lot of fun to deliver that and do that. So thanks to Rick. Support Rico's. The last thing is just a year in review, and I'll let you guys read that for yourselves. But I think it was a good 2018, and I'm looking forward to 2019.
Why don't you let me know the West Silver Lake Road,
What's that?
West Silver Lake Road incident?
Well, that's January.
Let's not rush it. And now I'm kind of worried. Did you ever look at my refrigerator right here?
Yes, it's not lacking. Any other questions? No, if you really want to talk about it now, I can. I don't have a problem.
Well, I'm gonna forward them all an email.
Oh, okay. Over the weekend, there's a trailer near this location, and we've had problems with them, with animals and other things, junk ordinance and hoarding. And obviously, when you deal with that, you're dealing with someone who's probably slightly mentally ill. So you have to be, cautious and just sensitive to their feelings and stuff. But Animal Control and I went there Thursday, Friday, Saturday of this weekend, and finally they were going there because there was a complaint from Adult Protective Services who went in the home, and they were worried about the welfare of the animals, saw the conditions they were living in, which was really quite terrible. So we went there Thursday, they weren't home, we went there Friday. I called them and said, hey, meet us here. They came and met us there, and I convinced them, Animal Control convinced them to give up the 2 puppies that were very thin, and I just basically pleaded with them and said, you cannot take care of these animals. What are you doing, And so they signed those over, but refused to sign this other thin animal, which was really the only one we were going to take. We were going to leave the other 3. But they refused to do that too, so I called the prosecutor's office, and they said just write a search warrant. So I did that and got it signed on Saturday, and then we executed it and went there and took all the animals out, which it's going to be beneficial in the end, so the animals don't have to live like that. And they're all seen by a vet, and they all have very poor prognoses. I mean, at the time, they'll be healthy going forward, but not good. So that was good. My guess is they'll probably be charged with something only to get them on probation so they can't have more animals, because she did tell me I am getting more cats back.
So there.
Well, then I received notice today from the health department that there's a cease and desist for the humans living in this home. It was bad enough for the animals to be confiscated, so the health department stepped in and ordered a mandatory evacuation of this home immediately. Friday, I think. They have to be out. And this is a place that we've been working on. Couple of years. Yep.
Yeah, I think you actually helped them with the dumpster, right?
Yep.
Provided it for them. So. Any questions?
Sorry to.
No, that was
January
uplifting.
news.
I'll point something. Thank you.
Thank you for.
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Eric?
Maybe you need to move the podium over there, I should hire you.
That's rude. I can't believe anybody say that to you.
Anyway, last month we mentioned the fire department was adopting a family. It's been many years since we've done this. Unfortunately, it came to an end years ago with several reasons. But it was nice, Chief Parker brought it back this year. Something he's always done with all the other departments he's worked at, so he has to continue on. Appreciate any donations that might have been received. It was fun to watch the crews get in and do the shopping and wrapping presents. The union donated $500, which was able to buy their winter gear and boots and everything that were on the list, so that was pretty awesome. The December training for the month was backing the badge. I came up and did an orientation spiel that lasted about an hour. The retired fire chief from Grand Rapids, previous police officer from Grand Rapids, and one of the clinicians from backing the badge was part of it. They complimented Blair Township Board on we were doing everything right. Between the career survival class, back in the badge, we were offering everything to the employees that were needed. So many kudos there. Matt Sterling, our instructor coordinator, he's been spending a lot of time with Grant, our EMS coordinator, and scheduling classes. This is going to be in conjunction with the Target Solutions, the online training. This portion of the training will be the physical hands-on at the station. So we have a scheduled ACLS and PALS class, which is a requirement from our med control for our paramedics. I think this will be the first one at Blair Township. The negotiations, we met once and we're going to meet again Thursday. And we'll see how that goes. And also, in November, we came to ask permission for the spending of $1,800 for the possibility of the 2 grants we're submitting for. Saturday, we received notice that we're being awarded the $9,600 for the 2% tribe grant. And that'll pay for the computers and CAD systems in all our vehicles. So when we get dispatched calls and there's communications that can't be over the airways, that'll be through the computer system. Hopefully we'll receive the Parkway grant and we'll get the mobile eyes app on the same computers too.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Do you need to hold it?
I gotta get the term right so I can read it. I need some glasses. Andy Margaret, County Road Commission. Beautiful weather out there today for the drivers. It's getting nasty out, so be careful on your way home. We had our organizational meeting as well. We elected Jason Gilman to be our chair and Carl Brown as the vice chair. We're working on the east-west mobility corridor study yet. Our consultants are looking at it and they're saying the scope of what we're doing, we might want to change the name because it's more than just east-west. There's also north-south and, just traffic movement throughout the area. So we may be looking at renaming it to be more encompassing of what we're actually looking at. They're going to be doing some more meetings with the stakeholders and with the flag groups, you guys. Pretty exciting news for the road commission with our OPEB and our pension. We are almost 100% funded. We may be when we get the final actuarial for this year. We made the one-time payment instead of making it out every month. You got the option. We looked at what the economy's doing, what the market was doing at the time. Everything's pretty low right now, so we're putting our money to try to buy. Everything's cheap. Hopefully it's going to give us the return. It's going to get us up to being 100% funded. We'll be one of the few in the area that is 100% funded, which is pretty exciting to be on that. I'd like to say it's all my doing, but years of doing things right that have got us there. You may hear some rumbling about the Cass Road drain. We were concerned because our roads were getting affected by the water coming from away from our roads that we have no control over, we can't do anything with. So we reached out to the drain commissioner, asked him to look at the drain. He did that. Some are upset about being added into it, like people up by Home Depot and Walmart, because they're potentially providing a lot of water to that area, which is causing those floods for those local businesses. And of course our roadway. So we signed an agreement that we're going to pay our 50-some% of the county's obligation. The county has to pay part of it. The county road commission is going to pay the other part of the county's obligation. We have land the road, which is our percentage. Just like if the homeowner, our property owner owns a piece of property, we have some there, so we have to pay our fair share as well, and we agreed to do that. We're also going to, as part of this project, the road commission is going to extend a three-way, the center turn lane down to about Britain Media. We want to take advantage of the mobilization discounts, provide a better service to the community down there, and hopefully make it safer. So that was part of what we did, is we agreed to pay the 100% of those costs. Was not part of that drainage district. So some people are thinking they're paying for that. No, the road commission is actually funding that portion. Any additional work is being done because of what we want done versus what's necessary for the drains. Jack Robbins lived in the area of Cass Road for a long time, pretty much his whole life.
I hope to tell you.
He remembers a lake that no one knows about. It's called Boot Lake. Good luck finding it. It doesn't exist anymore. He filled it in. That was his whole backyard there where the river was and all of that, and he wanted to see that bridge at Cass Road get built finally. It was something he was excited about. He's talked to me several times. The bridge had no name. So we passed a resolution. It's now called Robbins Bridge for Jack Robbins. A resident who's been there, been involved with planning with the county and the township, been involved with all the historical stuff that we needed as the bridge and the road work is going on in that area. He's got a lot of institutional knowledge he shared with everybody who wants to listen. And he's got some stories to tell that just blow your mind of what they used to do. He was also a member of the road commission as an employee, so. I mean, as I'm hearing what they're talking about when we're making the resolution to name the bridge, I'm like, wow, that man has been involved. And it's an honor to
That's great.
name the bridge after him.
Very good.
And we're plowing roads. I'm probably gonna throw some salt and sand in it too, because it's still warm enough. Questions? Oh, most important thing we as a road commission do as the commissioners, we hire a manager. We are down to 3, 2 internal, 1 external. We had a lot of very qualified candidates. Personalities and how we feel is really big in it. We're down to 3 highly qualified candidates. I'd be happy hiring any one of them as I felt at the end of the meeting. I may at the next interview change my mind, I don't know. Looking for some difficult questions to ask people, so you got any? Real tricky questions that's gonna get them to, you know, drop the font or take that mask off. I'd love to hear them. You know, not the, what kind of tree would you be questions, but something that we want to find out how they're going to interact with the staff. And we want to keep that momentum going, that we've got the relationship that the manager, Jim Cook, had with the employees and moving the commission to where we are.
Can you tell us who your internal candidates are?
Wayne Schoonover, it's all public knowledge now because we did it was at an open meeting. So Wayne Schoonover is our current engineer, manager. Our traffic services coordinator, I didn't even say this, Ron Roloff, are the two internal candidates. And Wayne has been a managing director of 2 different road commissions. So he brings a lot of knowledge, and Ron has a personality that, you can teach someone how to do the job. That's a little easier than teaching them how to be personable, and they're both pretty personable individuals. I think Ron's a little perkier, but that's not quite right. He's more outgoing, and he knows how to work the room when he's there. He talks to everybody, and it's kind of impressive to watch him interact with the staff. And he was originally a guy in the back with a shovel and driving a truck, so I think that'd be a big morale boost for the employees to say, you can be a truck driver and make your way to the manager's position. So there's some other factors like that that I look at as well as when we're hiring. The morale of the staff, I think, would be potentially greatly increased by seeing that you've got the chance by working hard to move up.
He's been great for us to work with. If I can't get a hold of Jim, it's Ron. And he's very responsive. It's been awesome.
We've got a great staff.
You
So,
do.
it doesn't matter
You do.
from the bottom to the top.
I know.
I'm lucky to be on the board I am.
Yeah. It's a lifetime.
Nope. Probably.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
It's my turn, right? Yep. All right. Good evening, Brian Souza from Waitrum. Just a quick update. All of the materials for the iron removal plant have been delivered, finally, and they are starting to put all of that together. Schedule-wise, the way the contract is worded and because of the stoppage of time, so that starts up now, and they've got 30 days to get that together and get it up and running. So come it's January now, middle of February, we should be starting to run water through that and tweak it and start dialing that in, so, which is a good thing. I know you on your agenda, you've got a pay request from them further down. Also, I'm here to answer any questions if needed on the Parks and Rec plan, so I'll just handle those when those come up. So other than that, that's my general report, unless there's any questions, that's all I've got for that part. All right.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Treasurer's report. I have the general fund, $2,737,711. The public safety fund, $320,374. Ambulance fund, $471,805. The metro fund is $53,738. The liquor law fund, enforcement fund, $20,200. The sewer fund, $1,649,434. The water fund, $1,616,774. Current tax collection is $1,200,607. Payroll clearing is $907, and milk oil fund is $10,012 for a total of $8,081,567.
Thank you.
Any questions for Tracy? Announcements and correspondence.
We have two. One is we're rolling on the website, the new website. So if anybody's got input or would say, I'd really like to see this, let me know. Because I'm working with Revise now. And if you have any pictures, they wanted me to provide them like 15 to 20 pictures for characteristics of the township. And then the other one is the annual meeting. I registered 3 of us for the annual meeting. If anybody else wants to go, let me know. Next Tuesday is the housing.
The MTA annual.
Yeah, MTA annual
Conference.
meeting.
And that's Grand Rapids.
Mhm. And the housing goes quickly. And that's it.
I've been just forwarding correspondence as I receive it via email from people expressing their feelings and opinions on Proposal 1, the recreational marijuana. There's clearly some confusion between recreational marijuana and medicinal marijuana, but as people send me an email, I've just been forwarding them to you guys. Next month, I'll have a hard copy of all of them, put it right in the packet, just in case you've missed it, but we probably 12 or 13 emails and 10 or 12 verbals I've received so far. And I ordered the eggs for the Easter egg hunt today. So the eggs will be coming.
And the place I get the costume is no longer in business,
Oh, no.
but I bought one. So so we're all set.
Lisa had thought of an idea over the weekend.
Oh, no.
Coordinating it with our Easter egg hunt, and we can talk more about it, details, but she thought if we sponsored a can drive at the same time with the Easter hunt, or at least this being a location for a food and can drive, so we can help the elementary school fill their pantry. So many of our kids come to school hungry and they go home hungry and they remain hungry. So we're a little bit slower. Actually, the truth is we're way slower right now back here. So that's something that we can put our heads together and put some ideas down on paper and get in touch with the school. Maybe Karczewski can help us. But this would be a great location, and it's something several of the people who responded to with the Parks and Rec question, mentioned things like that, food drives and just bringing the community together. So we'll work on that, and I think the kickoff being for the Easter egg hunt, because we have hundreds of people that come to that. So. And I have a ruptured blood vessel in my eyeball, which I was told today from an eye doctor, not my eye doctor, an eye doctor filling in over the phone, that it's very common for old people to blow blood vessels when they bend over and they're on blood thinners.
Well, I'm too young, I haven't done that
So if it doesn't hurt and there was no trauma, I really don't have much to worry about. Except that, like a typical bruise, it can start changing colors and yellow, and it's going to be perfect because I see my cardiologist for the first time on the 29th of January, which by then it should be completely yellow, so I'm sure that he will accuse me of probably drinking too much red wine. Yeah, it's perfect. That's all I have. Consent calendar. The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together in one board motion without discussion. Any member of the board, staff, or public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed from there and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will automatically be respected. And as Lynette mentioned tonight, we've got the check register, December 18th minutes, the assessing report, the water report, and the emergency services report.
I have a question. So, every meeting, I bring my little box here with all the checks I've written, that, not all the checks I've written, but the ones that need approval. And as long as I've been doing this, nobody's asked to pull a check for any explanation. Normally, if they have a question, they come to me before the meeting and ask it. Can we say that's how it's gonna be, so I don't have to bring this with me every time? All right, thank you.
Won't you be lost without it?
Well, I always worry that I'm gonna forget it out here. And they're not signed, but still. I would freak out if I came in the next morning. Oh my God, where are my checks?
You would remember it at 3 a.m.
Oh, probably.
Back down, yeah. Anything else?
I move to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the consent calendar as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unfinished business. Green burials, possible amendment to the cemetery ordinance.
I got nothing. Hopefully by the next meeting.
New business, public hearing for our Parks and Recreation Plan. I am going to,
I just want to announce that the public hearing notice was published on December 7th, 2018 in the Record Eagle.
thank you. Let's go ahead and open up the public hearing for the Blair Township Community Recreation Plan 2019-2023 at 6:37 p.m. Is there anybody from the public who would like to speak? You don't have to.
Okay. Barb Benson, 3838 Russell Court. I've reviewed it briefly. It looks really good. A couple of things that I want to mention. One, I mentioned it, I go to St. Patrick Catholic Church, and I noticed that that was one of the baseball diamond and their extra fields that we have around the church were listed, which was kind of nice. It's not being used, but I let them know that it's part of the plan, you know, the documentation that we've done. And then the biggest question I guess I have is, this article was just in the Northern Express, the Road to Health about 8th Street and the Grand Traverse Community Regional Foundation I think they hired somebody to come in and help try to make 8th Street they're looking at making it a health corridor or something like that. And I just wondered whether or not, once you have yours approved, whether or not you've had conversations with any of those people that have been instrumental in bringing the Grand Traverse Regional Community Foundation to it, like Casey Cowell.
I have had a meeting with them,
You have, okay.
several of them.
Okay, because,
This is
okay. But and I just wanted to bring that up and.
with more meetings to come.
Wanted to make sure that
Yep.
getting those people that are.
Yes, and that's exactly what this is
Travers
for.
to come out here.
Is this, yes, I've met with them, and then this actually, Wade Trim will file this with the state of Michigan in February. Then we become grant eligible. Yes,
Okay, good.
on it.
Okay, I figured you were, but, so thank you.
Thanks, Barb.
Thank you, Barb. Any other public comment in regards to the community recreation plan? Let's close the public hearing at 6:40 p.m. Item B, adoption of the Blair Township Community Recreation Plan 2019-2023.
And the resolution number on this will be 2019-02.
Oh, two?
Yep. Did you give Brian the changes?
I will. I'll get them up, yeah. It's as soon as somebody makes a motion, we'll discuss that.
I would make a motion to adopt resolution 2019-02, adopting the Blair Township Parks and Rec Plan 2019 to 2023.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to adopt resolution number 2019-02, the Blair Township Community Recreation Plan 2019 through 2023. Discussion.
I would just like to say, after reading this several times, that, well done. I mean, in a short time, you put together quite the, and it's really nice to see that now we have a Parks and Rec committee. My hat's off to them too for working on this, but thank you. It's very nice. And Brian?
Thanks to Wade Trim, to Arthur, my new friend Arthur. He has been awesome to work with. We met for the first time at one of our meetings. We had been working together for a couple months, and it's just been on the telephone and through the computer, so it was actually fun to meet him face to face. And I liked him as much as I like all of the Wade Trim employees that we work with. I mean,
Well, not as much.
well,
Come on.
right.
Brian's right there. Yeah.
I know.
Nobody can compare to you, so.
Right. I've gone through this 100 times, I know, when I went through it, and today what I did is I sat down with her copy and my copy, side by side, and went through page by page. There's just some minor typos in here that I caught. We decided that we should get a little bit of a cut for being the
Absolutely.
reviewers. And
Put that in there to make sure you read it.
I will. Oh, no. So what we'll do is I'll give Brian this copy with the changes. Like Marilyn's not listed, that was one of them. Lisa was listed wrong, and then the typos. But the biggest thing was the budget information. It wasn't accurate, so we actually made a copy today of the actual township budget. I've got the audit, the actual audit budget. So we'll give this to Brian, or I can just send it all to Arthur tomorrow. It's fine. And other than that, I think it's great. I feel like it's really, you read it, it's simple to read, it's easy to read, and there's a real sense of ownership in it. I mean, I know we contracted, there are templates and stuff, but it's so personalized. I felt, I'm really happy with it. So thank you. Thanks Arthur.
I will. Arthur has a horrible ear infection, which is one of the reasons why he couldn't make it today. But yes, while the template is the same, the information is very specific to each community. So it is a very personal document. A great exercise for communities to go through to help chart what they want to do recreation-wise for the next 5 years. Also important because if you want to get grant funding for projects, then you have to have one of these in place, and that specific project needs to be listed in there. So thank you so much for your time, and I can tell you our planners had said that this group has garnered the best input towards a recreation plan than we've seen in a long, long time, and we work with some very big communities on recreation plans. So hats off to the township for getting that done and being on the streets and putting that out there and making sure people have an opportunity to respond and give input. So very important. So good job.
Any other discussion? It's been moved and supported. Let's do a roll call on your one.
Please?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Zeitz?
Yes.
Wolfgang? Yes. Kuchera?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
And Blanchard?
Yes. Yes.
Do you want to take that from you?
Yeah, you can have this. It's on my notes in it.
Thank you.
Item C, Resolution 2019-01, Consumers Energy Changes in Lighting Service. This is for the light up at Rennie School Road and 31 to remove the light because we have a traffic light coming in there. And in order for consumers to move forward with removing the light, we as a board have to adopt this resolution authorizing them to do so.
I'd make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-01, authorizing Consumers Energy Company to make changes in the lighting service at Rennie School Road and US 31.
Support. It's been moved and supported to adopt resolution 2019-01, authorizing Consumers Energy Company to make changes in the lighting service as provided in the standard lighting contract at Rennie School Road and US 31. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, you know what, we have to spend money, so we have to, and it's a resolution, yeah.
Campbell?
Yes.
Zeitz?
Yes.
Wolfgang, yes. Kuchera?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
And Fleece?
Yes.
Item D, amendment to policy 2014-02, post-audit policy.
I made some updates on this. TC Light and Power, I deleted. We used to get a bill from them for a street light on Keystone that's now been taken over by Cherryland. Shell Fleet, I got a notice that they're gonna be, Wex Bank is gonna be servicing that now. So the bills will be coming in, will be written, the checks will be written out to Wex Bank. So we need to change that. Postmaster, we used to do that for the water and sewer bills. Well, Lisa's using Maple River Direct now, and so is Tracy for mailing the newsletters and the tax bills. Although I would like to add Pitney Bowes for postage. And then added Dearborn National under insurances. Deleted park rental deposit refunds. We don't charge to rent the park anymore. And then Charter Communications and Verizon Wireless. We get, I think, 3 different bills from each of those companies. And we get them at all times, I mean, different times of the month. And it just depends on when the meeting falls. Like 2 of the charter bills, every time I get the bill, it shows we're past due, even though it's because the check's gone out, but it's the timing. It's getting ridiculous to keep track of, so I would like to add Charter Communications and Verizon Wireless, which probably should have been on there in the first place. We can't really do without our internet, and the Verizon is all the EMS stuff. I don't think we can do without that either.
I'm good with that. I'll make a motion to amend policy 2014-02, Blair Township post-audit policy with the changes as presented by the clerk.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to amend policy number 2014-02, the post audit policy as presented by the clerk. Roll call vote.
Zeitz,
Yes.
Wolfgang, yes. Kuchera,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Blonshine,
Yes.
Fleece, and Campbell.
Yes.
Item C, certificate for payment number 5 to RCI for the iron removal plant.
I'd make a motion to approve the certificate for payment number 5 to RCI for the iron removal plant. Do you need the amount?
No, I have it,
Okay.
I mean,
That's fine.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to pay certificate number 5 to RCI for the iron removal treatment plant. Roll call.
Wolfgang, yes. Kuchera,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Blonshine,
Yes.
Fleece,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
and Zeitz.
Yes.
Item F, hiring of Tim Ginhart as a full-time paramedic firefighter. If you guys recall, he was offered a full-time position a few months ago. He had interviewed and he was offered it, and then the shifts, the schedule at that time actually didn't work for him. He's in the process of making some life changes and schedules opened up differently and it works for him. So Eric has suggested and made the suggestion that we go ahead and he's still full-time eligible. He was just offered the position a few months ago. So,
I would make a motion for the hiring of Tim Ginhart as full-time paramedic firefighter.
support. It's been moved and supported to hire Tim Ginhart as a full-time paramedic firefighter with Blair Township Emergency Services. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item G. Remember last month, we approved the ordinance enforcement officer / deputy zoning administrator job description. But we weren't prepared to discuss pay at that time. Lynette and Tracy and I met, we looked at the budget and talked about the job descriptions and looked at pay rates, and this was what we were in a mutual agreement with. We actually did this while Lisa was on vacation. I didn't think that it was appropriate for us to discuss this tonight in a board meeting without sitting Lisa down and having a discussion with her and making sure, not so much that she 100% agreed with it, but just keep her in the loop with this. And so we discussed the ordinance enforcement officer, deputy ZA pay rate, as well as once we get that person in here. Because if you remember, when Lisa stepped up as the interim ZA, she was being compensated. So with bringing a new employee in, then we'll eventually take Lisa back down. So anyways, Lisa has been involved with this information as well. Does anybody have any discussion with the ordinance enforcement officer, deputy ZA pay rate as submitted? We thought doing a range was better than having a set, because at least some leniency and some leeway once we start interviewing, bringing somebody in. If somebody has some experience versus we think this person is going to be great. We've never had a full-time ordinance enforcement officer, and that'll be a huge role in this person's job here. So that's why we thought with the pay range.
And this person will be really going out into the public,
Yes,
face to face with
Yes.
people with violation.
yes,
Because through the years,
yes.
I was on the board, but as I've talked to other people that were, there's some people that just don't want to go out.
Right.
They were just,
Right.
Right.
they were too uneasy, even though they were, and one guy was a zoning administrator one time, so you just didn't feel easy going out there, but just want to be in the office. So,
Yeah, my belief is that we need to be proactive and not reactive, and cleaning up with the blight and the junk and the ordinance enforcement is it needs to be handled very proactively. Don't believe in staying in this building and waiting for a resident to call and complain about another resident. It's not fair to anybody. It's not the way we should be. We should be functioning, being very proactive, supportive, helping people. Our West Silver Lake person, they were in a bad situation. They were so far over their head, they didn't know how to get out of it. I found that with a lot of our people. We've gone and cleaned up places ourselves if we have to.
now this person would also be going out.
Yes.
Not just if there was a complaint, even before the complaint too, right?
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, you would. Okay, that person would.
He or she.
That person. Okay, good. I like that. That's right, because now you're mostly relying on complaints, it has to be a complaint, and pictures, and then they go out, yeah.
So I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance enforcement officer / deputy ZA pay rate as presented in our package tonight.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the ordinance enforcement officer / deputy ZA pay rate as presented in our package tonight.
Could you just say what range is
Yeah.
in the motion?
Oh, yeah. I'll make the motion to approve the ordinance enforcement officer / deputy ZA pay rate between $34,000 and $39,000 per year.
Thank you.
I'll support it again.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Kuchera,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Blonshine,
Yes.
Fleece,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Zeitz,
Yes.
and Wolfgang, yes.
We removed item H. Item I, appointment of water sewer coordinator and interim ZA Lisa Guerrieri to officially the zoning and public works administrator. Discussion and decision on pay rate adjustments for her. As I had stated when Lindsay left and Lisa stepped up into that position, we did a pay rate adjustment for her. Now with bringing in an ordinance enforcement officer / deputy ZA. Well, I guess before we even get onto that, because she's been the acting interim, I would like to officially appoint her as the official ZA. Which I'd like to add, she does an incredible job.
And I'd just like to say thank you for all of the work you've done above and beyond over this period.
Many different times.
So do you want a motion appointing her to the new position?
Yeah.
I would make a motion to appoint Lisa Guerrieri to the position of, hold on a minute. Administrator of Zoning and Public Works.
I support that.
You just add next to her name, Crazy Cat Lady.
Right. There's been a motion to appoint Lisa Guerrieri to Administrator of Zoning and Public Works. Any further discussion?
Yeah. Lisa, wink, wink, you think you're qualified for this? There, okay.
Barely.
Okay, wink, wink, that's good.
How many ZAs have you trained?
Countless. I don't even know.
Let's do a roll call.
Blonshine,
Yes.
Fleece,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Zeitz,
Yes.
Wolfgang, yes, Kuchera,
Yes.
and Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Now the discussion and decision on pay rate adjustments. I don't remember,
No, I was trying to think.
I mean, I remember what we talked about offering her. I don't remember, do you remember what Lisa was making prior to being appointed the interim?
I think she's at 48.
Just as, yeah, water and sewer.
Yeah, I think she's at 48. And then when we made her interim zoning administrator, we were paying her $1,000 per pay period for that.
So I had thought, not that she certainly has been worth that extra money she was making, because it's just been she and I back there. But talking with Tracy and Lynette and Lisa today, I'd like to make the motion to, once we get this person in, hired, we will decrease Lisa's salary from what she's at now, but above what she was making prior to. So I would make the motion to set Lisa's salary once we have a ordinance enforcement officer, deputy ZA hired, to $52,000.
Wow. Not at the weight, just, I put you down as seconding the motion.
You're welcome. I did bring my nameplate.
I saw that.
I should have brought mine.
Yes.
So I support that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. As long as
I'm
we
letting her
do
get caught up.
karaoke at her
It's been
house.
moved and supported
Then
to
forget it.
set
She's-
Lisa's new salary once there's an ordinance enforcement deputy ZA hired at $52,000. Whenever you're ready with that. Is there any further discussion?
Fleece,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Zeitz,
Yes.
Wolfgang, yes, Kuchera,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
and Blonshine.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thanks.
Item J, Chief Parker. I'm gonna let Eric and
So, over the last year and a half, we've had numerous changes. We've promoted, and before that, we promoted from within. So the retirement's the one that started, it's never been an issue. I believe Chief Parker is one of the first ones that retired from the outside. And when that happened, there was a big miscommunication between us. I was under the impression his retirement would begin immediately, as it does for the union employees, and he questioned that right away. It was discussed. February, the Township Board appointed, created a policy committee.
A year ago, February.
Yeah, because we're not, this February, yeah. I think it was brought up during our budget hearings. I was planning to bring it to the board, I think in October, different issues happened, and questioning it again. The township policy is you don't begin retirement until after 2 years.
So I feel with the Emergency Services Department and all the other paramedic firefighters, the people that's been hired since them are getting their retirement immediately. And the other union employees. Excuse me.
Well, you have to clarify that.
Yeah, I did. You're right. So, to be fair to Chief Parker, I think we owe him back the retirement back to the start date. The Emergency Services Department. All the full-time union employees get that. I believe he should too. And the policy obviously should be addressed.
Do you want me talking, or do you want me to wait until a motion is made?
Well, I was just gonna, we can talk now, but Eric just mentioned two different things, so I don't even want to talk about the policy right now. That's not what we're talking about.
Correct.
We're talking about Chief Parker, and just to be a little bit clearer, it wasn't even miscommunication. It was an assumption on his part because he read the union contract that the retirement happens right away, and I get why he would think that. And the interview committee who interviewed him, I mean, there was no clarity on anything. No, he didn't ask.
They didn't tell.
We didn't tell. The interview committee didn't tell. So he honestly thought that that retirement package was applicable to him. So I guess it's not really even miscommunication, it was no communication. And once he was hired, he discovered it shortly thereafter, and that was one of the deciding factors for him to take this job, was the retirement package that he had read in the union contract. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, I'm gonna give you my 2 cents. I guess I feel like, he assumed, and we all know what that does. So I feel that maybe a compromise is in order. Maybe go back to December, which was his anniversary date. So instead of having to wait 2 years, he would only have to wait, he only would be waiting 1 year. It's basically splitting, I mean, the township's meeting him halfway, he's meeting us halfway. And I do want to mention that this should not happen again, because after he brought this to our attention, I talked with Eric and Nicole, and I said, we need to start, when we offer somebody a job, we need to do it in writing and spell out what all the benefits are, and have them sign off that they understand what.
Yeah.
Get being proactive.
Eric has to help me remember. Eric has some responsibility in this when it's a union employee. It's not all up to me.
I would say that nobody individually interviews anybody. So I would say the interview committee needs to make sure that they're responsible to have a benefit package. And then I, as a board member, when it comes, because we as a board approve to hire everybody, we can look right at their name and the benefit package that they signed off. So we're ultimately responsible. I mean, that is up to us. I mean, Eric has to get the information probably verified through the clerk's office to that employee, but we as a board need to, it's just double checking. And again, to not be put in this is an awful situation. You're talking like $6,000 per year for him.
there's a solution to it moving forward, but we have to figure this one out tonight.
I'm with Lynette. I think Lynette had a good idea. Split it, compromise.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I would make a motion to make Chief Parker's MERS 457 retirement effective December 1st, 2018.
I support that.
It's been moved and supported to make Chief Parker's MERS 457 retirement benefit effective December 1st, 2018. Any further discussion?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna put myself in his place. I didn't read, the only thing he read was the union, and he took for granted, or assumed, which is troublesome, but it's kind of all he had. He didn't have anything from us. So,
But he didn't ask.
yeah, I understand that. Also, when, he didn't ask, but he assumed something that he should have asked. But we also failed in that aspect too, by not having that separate. And I'm going to say, when I was in those positions of myself being out there and asking for things, I made sure that it was clear. And usually there was a benefit package, not always everybody has those. But we need, because it wasn't clear and distinct, I'm not sure if we don't owe him that. Since it was his assumption and he's wrong, but this is a tough one. I see where, you could split hairs here. But myself, I think, just my opinion, that he should be paid.
I agree with Dennis.
So do I.
Being a business
So do I.
person.
But I mean, we've got a motion on the floor, so this is further discussion. My part of the discussion, I feel that same way, Dennis. I think,
Well, and he was told
He was told what?
about this prior to, he accepted it and he was told about it, and because I asked the question, is he still gonna take the job?
So how was he at that point then? He knew?
He knew right around the time of hire that it was a 2-year. So it's
then-
not like,
But then did he
yeah,
bring
he
it up
did,
that?
because I asked that question
But
Yeah,
That was
What?
shortly after.
within a day or so.
after.
no, I think this somewhat is coming back to me. Well, because he must have asked at one point, or something must have been brought up. Because I don't know if he had already accepted,
It was right around the whole time. Either he just accepted or he was gonna.
and then he
accept
found
or
out, and then it was like,
Right.
I don't, this makes a big difference. So
Then he still came to work.
Right, but did he have hopes of maybe getting that?
yeah,
Okay.
In 2 years.
Oh, and
well,
He's had multiple conversations with Erica.
He accepted the position before he found out about the retirement. Didn't start working before the retirement. And when he found out, he may mention that, like Paul said.
I don't think so. I think he found out because I said, is that gonna be a make or break deal for him now?
But he already accepted the position and then found out.
I just know it was close.
Any further discussion? We have motion and support. And the motion, was to meet Chief Parker halfway and to have his MERS 457 retirement become effective December 1st, 2018.
Well, because this was added to the agenda. Campbell,
Yes.
Zeitz,
No.
Wolfgang, yes. Kuchera,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
No.
Blonshine,
No.
and Fleece.
No.
Motion failed.
I'll make a motion to have Chief Parker's MERS 457 retirement benefit retroacted to his initial hire date.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to have Chief Parker's MERS 457 retirement benefit package retroactive effective on his hire date. Any discussion?
Zeitz,
Yes.
Wolfgang, no. Kuchera,
No.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Blonshine,
Yes.
Fleece,
Yes.
and Campbell.
No.
Motion carried.
Next month I'm bringing mine. I want mine retroactive.
Extended public input. I forgot in my announcement, do you guys remember last summer, towards the end of summer, I was contacted by a gentleman who runs the girls and young women's travel softball league, and they hosted their tournaments here at our park. And prior to the tournaments happening, they were here a couple weeks in a row, sprucing up all of the fields, and did a lot of work on the ball diamonds that aren't so used, and bought new home plates and pitcher mounds and chalk. And anyways, he contacted me again today. He said he had such positive feedback from the families, parents, that they actually want to have 2 more tournaments here this summer. The first one would be 2 weekends in June, and then again the August tournaments like they did last year. So I thought that was really, really cool. They're super nice people, clean as can be, spent some money out in the park, and I just put them in contact again with the Little League. They established a great working relationship with our local Little League team who leases the field, so it's basically up to them if it works with their schedule.
It was really good for the economy too. A lot of those people came to my garage sale.
Your sign's on the ball.
Rico's noticed it too, and I tell you, it wouldn't be a bad idea maybe to get us out there selling hot dogs and stuff and raising some money for that park.
I think that would be great.
We could make, it was packed out there.
Oh, there was more RVs on the parking lot. I was shocked when I went by that weekend.
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
Yeah, on
water
Sunday,
and-
yeah, they stay in campgrounds
In
when they
hot tubs.
come. So they have to pull out of the campgrounds on Sunday, yeah. That was it. Any other?
Barb Benson wanted me to bring up the article in Northern Express that our dear supervisor was in. It was a wonderful article.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great for Blair Township. My
Yep.
hat's off to you, Nicole.
Well,
Excellent.
I'd like to say something else too about that. Nicole has been great for this township. But also, when she started, she needed help. And she really got the help. Lynette really helped her a lot. Lynette's one of those that also, Lynette used to ask me, why you ask me? Because I always said, because you know the answer. But everybody helped, you know, Nicole came into this and she has been great, you're right. And, you know, it takes a long time, but I think Nicole has done fantastic. But I think she's had a great support staff behind her. too.
Without
Yeah.
a doubt. I
Yeah.
learn so much from these guys every single day.
Thanks, Carl.
My primary focus has been in the back here, learning water, sewer, and zoning and planning. Once we have another person hired and we're set there, Lynette and I have talked about this many, many times now, but I'm gonna be spending some time up in her office in learning more of the financing and the budgeting and working with these two, because I'm certainly don't know everything back here, but I've learned a lot, and this has been my focus. Zoning, planning, water, sewer, so I'm looking forward to being able to move up front and learn more of the whole business side of it. It's definitely huge learning experience, that's for sure. And like I said, every day I learn something new.
And I would like to add one thing. We just finished 2 years as a new board, and I would just love to say, it's been a pleasure serving with everyone here and working together. So,
I agree. I think we have an awesome team. An awesome team. Our staff, we're lucky as board members, we're lucky to have the staff that we have all the way around. My primary focus, all I ever knew was emergency services, and I was always super proud of that, but the staff back here, our assessor, she's top notch. She scored a perfect rating on her AMAR. We're lucky. We're lucky to have good people, and I think we're a great team. I think we display it. We don't always agree, but
oh, that's fine. I mean,
we're not,
I'd be
it's,
sad.
yeah, nothing personal. Oh, that was a kumbaya moment.
It was a kumbaya moment.
All right,
Be proud.
let's adjourn.